Aries rises as the moon in Capricorn exactly opposes the sun in Cancer, forming the full moon. Jupiter and Rahu are placed in the first house and Ketu is placed in the seventh house. In essence, the presence of Jupiter, the ninth ruler, in the first house is actually indicative of good luck and fortune. That being said, presence of Jupiter in the nodal axis in conjunction with Rahu can impact the level of degree at which we could experience good fortune and luck. It's precisely because they have enough extensive life experiences than us to help us navigate the troubled waters. In some regard, most of us might be expecting a shift or pivot in our lives. Despite being annoyed because of the sluggish pace at which we are progressing in terms of whatever we want to achieve, I think we are still making progress and there is not much to worry about at this point. The favorable aspect of Jupiter from Aries over Leo and Sagittarius will be advantageous to those domains or areas of our lives. If we concentrate on the bigger picture and break down the larger vision into smaller targets, we won't be bogged down by the sluggish nature of the progress that we are currently experiencing. The moon is placed in the 10th house of Capricorn in Shravana Nakshatra. Our thoughts naturally reveal our emotional connection that we have towards our work. Shravana Nakshatra denotes the act of hearing or perhaps actively listening, which indicates that during this period we need to be keen observers rather than verbalizing our opinions. Given the sun's position in the 4th house, we possess the advantage of having a clear vision over shadowed areas of life. The sun is placed in the 4th house of Cancer, which is the house of anti-culmination, because it is exactly opposite to the 10th house, and it includes or denotes the darker areas of life that we cannot see. The sun is all about light and energy, and when sun is placed in the 4th house of anti-culmination, sun goes into dark, but it also sheds light into darker or shadowed areas of our lives. And we need to make use of this undue advantage that we have at this point of time to make some progress. Engaging in attentive listening and keen observation helps us to perceive accurately the minutest of details. The sun will illuminate the darker areas of our lives, while the moon will enable us to actively listen, hear, and perceive to the desired extent. The possibility of any form of distraction that is caused by the luminaries, that is the sun and the moon, squaring Rahu and Ketu, should be overlooked, and we need not pay attention to any form of such distractions, but we can just ignore them and just move on. The placement of the sun, which is the 5th ruler in the 4th house, is an indication of concealed emotions and the emotions that cannot be naturally described or explained. Among other significations, the 5th house represents creativity, rank, and children. This may be a period where we may be spending some of our time, energy, and resources towards our children. I don't want to qualify this necessarily as positive or negative, but given the fact that there is a lot of 12th house involvement, because sun is placed in 12th from its own rulership, that is the 5th house. And the 12th house is characterized by expenses and uncertainty. Maybe there will be some emotional upheavals that we did not expect during this point of time. The 5th house of the full moon chart bears great significance because of the prominent placements of Mars, Venus, and Mercury. The retrograde transit of Venus through the 5th house of Leo indicates that we need to reconsider, restructure, or reorganize some of the creative pursuits that we are currently involved in our life. Twitter's owner, Elon Musk, announced the introduction of new logo, thereby indicating that Twitter is entering into a rebranding campaign. Just like this is an ideal moment for common individuals like us to rethink and reconsider the creative pursuits of our lives, where we may need to kickstart something new and we can plan for that, but not start. And if we have already started something and if we want to creatively change or make some modifications in terms of what we are doing at this point, in terms of aesthetics, I think this is the right time to involve with it. The conjunction of Mars and Venus suggests passion, and it also includes sexual nature. And this emphasizes the necessity to remain true to our current relationship. Not only does Mars rule the 1st house, it also rules the 8th house, which indicates that there is this inherent indication of secrecy. Given the fact that 5th house is the 11th house from the 7th house, and it is very prominent with the placement of Mars, Venus, and Mercury, it indicates gain from relationships, but we need to ensure that it is not an immoral gain. Mercury, ruling the 3rd house and the 6th house, is also placed in the 5th house. So it involves the conjunction of 8th ruler and the 6th ruler in the 5th house, afflicting the house of creativity, rank, and love, or the house of gain from relationships. Given the fact that the ruler of the 7th house, Venus, is placed in conjunction with the 6th ruler and the 8th ruler, emotional challenges are going to run high during this phase, especially in terms of relationships. The 11th house of gains and friendship has Saturn placed in it. Saturn is retrograde, but Saturn is also dignified. But Saturn is actually separating from the ascendant, indicating that any help or support that we are supposed to have from our friends during this time, or that we expect to have during this time, is not going to come to us. Saturn aspects all the 3 planets in the 5th house, that is Mars, Mercury and Venus. Saturn exactly opposes Mercury, and this indicates some problems due to miscommunication. We need to ensure that miscommunication does not ruin our relationships with people, because prominent presence of so many planets in the 5th house directly indicates relationship. We need to ensure that miscommunication does not cause any problem or chaos in relationship. The aftermath of difficulty or chaos or confusion that is created during this period because of the prominence of the 5th house and because of Saturn's opposition towards the planets in the 5th house is going to be intense. It may be necessary for some individuals to part from their partners. It could be romantic partners, or marriages could end, or it may be end of business collaborations, or it might be end of relationship with someone we have known for years. But doing so in a peaceful manner is extremely important, so that we don't escalate the tension of an already strained relationship. Things are a little bit tricky at this point, but the Sun in the 4th house and the Moon in the 10th house indicate that there is going to be some kind of subtlest domestic changes and also subtlest external level of changes in our lives. I hope the best happens to all of you.